to do it year after year, and they've done it again here today. Lucas Vazquez with the late winner in this game to give Real Madrid all 3 points when it looked as though this one was going to end in a draw. We just saw the Alaves coach, Luis Garcia, absolutely furious there on the bench. We've got our own Luis Garcia joining us now. Look at this as the table rounds out 2023. Real Madrid and Girona level on 45 points right now.
During that game, I kept saying, is Luis Garcia at this game? Because they keep mentioning Stuart Robson in our commentary and Rob Palmer kept talking about Luis Garcia, and I went, have I missed the show or something? Have we not been on? But yeah, he looked, just lack of defending, lack of picking up. It's not like they're a man down. They have the extra man. Somebody has not done their job here. And as I said, Lucas Vazquez has been a great professional. Comes in, does a job, wide position, full back, always there if he's needed. But scoring headers, particularly when there's so many big physical players around, I think that's what infuriated the Alaves, Luis Garcia. But for Real Madrid, we were just getting ready to come on air here, basically, and it was like they hadn't played particularly well. It was a bit of a flat game. But as you said, it's kind of in their DNA, isn't it? They just never say die and go to the end and get a result when they're up against it. And they've done it again. On top of that, with Girona dropping 2 points at the end, it'll feel like a big, big day for them.
Yeah, what does it feel like for Girona then, Luis, given that obviously, yes, they're still level on points, but they could have seen out the year as leaders, having done so well for this start of the season. Is there any psychological blow to them there?
It can be. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks when they're back on the competition. Definitely, I think the Girona today deserve at least 1 point. It's true that in the last 20-25 minutes, they start sitting back, they start dropping a little bit, and Betis was looking to get something. They never stop, even conceded that first goal. But Betis missed, I think, too much. Isco, that was on the pitch, the key player for them in the creation. You could see that Betis were organized, but in the last day was missing that last pass, that last moment of clarity. And I think for both teams, a point is a good point. Girona, of course, looking to try to stay as much time as possible there at the top of the table, but still managed to stay the same points with Real Madrid.
To go back on the other side, I think Girona are playing still the best football in La Liga. Real Madrid, Barcelona, we've seen them recently, struggling, not just yesterday, but in the last few weeks. Real Madrid, obviously, they're the team that are looking the strongest, but they're decimated with injuries now, suspensions. They have some players coming back. Tchouameni's back, available again. Camavinga, I think, is going to be back soon. Vinicius, I think, is February. Now Nacho's going to have a 3-game ban, and rightly so.
And we'll see with Rodrigo, obviously, limping off at the end.
He didn't get carried off, but he certainly had the weight taken off as his legs as he was coming off, so we've no idea how serious that is. But barring something disastrous, I just don't see how this Girona, I call it a phenomenon, but this great story, I just don't see how it's going to disappear in 2 or 3 weeks' time. As Luis said, they've got a great shape, they play nice football, they're a threat going forward, they all know what their job is. I suppose if they picked up the injury list that one of the big sides had, then they're screwed, right? They're not going to be able to cope with that. But if they can get lucky in that department, then it's only the odd player that they lose. I don't see any reason why they can't keep this going. And also, there's nothing that suggests with the other teams that they're not going to falter either. And so I think that's good for La Liga. Might not be enough for the likes of Barca and possibly Atleti. We'll see. And they play at the weekend, Atleti against Sevilla, and they cannot afford to drop any more points. But certainly from a Real Madrid perspective and Girona perspective, it's up for grabs at the moment. And they are playing, I say they're playing better than Barca. They're playing better than Real Madrid in terms of the actual football that they're playing.
Girona, the best team in the league right now for you then, Luis, still?
Yeah, on the way of playing, and Chris is mentioning, I think that is the one that we enjoy the most, because the way how they analyze the game, how they're trying to break. They play against every single team, and they manage to get wins and playing to different ones. They've been rotating also players. We've seen under Mitchell players who maybe they were not involved in their teams. We are talking about Burley Garcia, for example, who has no minutes. Everybody is been blaming him for not delivering for Barcelona, and arrived to Girona. And today was really one of the best players on the field. So that showed that everyone is committed to this challenge. Everyone is looking forward to see if they can continue working in the same way. We'll see what happens, because I think that when March arrives, when they are closer to see that they might be able to win it, I think what is when the pressure is going to be on, and then we'll see these players who haven't been in that kind of situation before, they are going to handle the situation as well as we expect.
But what about, Luis, what about their manager? This has to be, the way they're playing, the way he's going about this, Michel, this has to be putting him in the shop window at some point for a potential move to a bigger club with more money.
Yeah, definitely is one of those managers that is being look up for from some big teams. For example, Valencia, he was heard to be looking at him. When he left Rayo Vallecano in a fantastic way, everybody thought they will make the next jump to a bigger team, but it was Girona the one who decided to sign him, and what is proven that he's a great manager. He's been working with this team. You can see what he's been able to do with players who, because everybody talks about the City group behind, that they've been helping, and well, I don't think that's the matter. They had a couple of players who were on loan from last year from the City group. They are not anymore, and now they've been trying to find the perfect player for every position. And we are talking about a player who was a Nipro in a different competition. We are talking about the striker. We are talking about Savio in the left side. So a player who were not linked from big teams, player from the French league, second division. So we are talking about players who were not well known, and they are giving 120%. They are delivering something they were not expected. So I think we have to give a lot of credit to Mitchell, and we'll see if at the end of the season he's going to be linked with more bigger teams.
You can throw Daley Blind into that, because I thought Daley Blind was retired.
Right.
But he's playing some of the best football of his career, and he's enjoying it on that left side of the defence. And listen, I think we all, as neutrals and people that follow La Liga and all the big leagues, we love a great story, right? And outside maybe those fans of Atleti and Barca and Real Madrid who can't see anything else, right. I think, and particularly for leagues itself, for the Premier League, for example, when Leicester won it, it was a great story that it can be done. And if Girona can just hang in there at least, it might not win it come May because of the pressure or whatever, or somebody might put a run, but if they can at least hang in there, then it's going to be a terrific story. If they win it, obviously, it's going to be absolutely amazing. But we just love a story. And at the moment, thank God for them, because one or two of the others are faltering.
Faltering being one of them, Barcelona, I suspect.
Yes.